Hey everybody, it's the Combatcast, Working Fans Podcast / Combatcast. Man, they call Dave, and we're going to be previewing a little UFC 264 tonight. So I believe producer Joe will be joining me shortly here, and we're going to talk about some combat, man. Sorry, buddy, the allergies started getting the better of me. I forgot. I'm like, what are we doing?
All right, so Dave, as people know, I mean, they might not know on the Combat Cast, but I have little to no UFC knowledge.
Right.
So we're gonna go through the card, and
Sure.
it would be kind of me asking you what's important about this fight. You know, what should we be looking out for tonight?
I'm going to give you a couple undercard fights real quick, too. Just to let you know, like we're gonna discuss the main card, but just a few highlights. 3 fights I want to bring up. Carlos Condit, he's a veteran. He's been fighting for a long time. God, I'll say he's in his 40s right now, but former champion. He was an interim UFC champion. He fought George St. Pierre. He holds victories over Nate Diaz. Back in the day, he was in a company called WEC, which UFC bought out. It had a lot of great talent. A lot of guys went on to win titles in UFC, and he was a champion there. He's fighting a guy named Max Griffin, who's coming off a performance of the night bonus, had a big KO in his last fight. And it'll be just interesting to see. Carlos Condit had I want to say 4 or 5 losses in a row, but they kept him around because he's such a warrior. And he won his last fight. He looked good. So it'll be interesting to see what he looks like now. I think that's a fight you'll want to watch for. Condit and Griffin. Actually, Condit coming off 2 victories in a row, too, now. And then another one, Nico Price and Michelle Poirer. Poirer is a guy who will do cartwheels, and he's done backflips literally in a fight. Like, he's crazy. He's done capoeira.
Oh, wow.
He's done capoeira. Nico Price is a guy who finished people on the bottom. So stylistically, this is an exciting fight with 2 guys who are just going to bring it. And in another fight, my buddy Chevy there, he would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Ryan Hall, who is absolutely, he does no striking. He would start the fight on his back if he could. He's just a jiu-jitsu expert, and people do not like to fight this guy. He has very little activity because a lot of people just don't want to fight Ryan Hall. And he's taking on a bit of an unknown guy, as far as I know. I cannot even say this name, Joe, but I will try. Liia, Liia, Torpia? Yeah, Topurie. Guys, I don't know this guy. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page even, but hopefully he performs better than what I give him here. But that's some undercard fights to check out.
And those will be on the prelims?
They will be on the prelims, which will be on
What time
ESPN.
do the prelims start, and where can people watch them?
It will be on ESPN and ESPN Plus. I believe that'll be about 8 o'clock. I will tell you that right now, though. And
let's double check that, because that's the weirdest thing for me, and it's the reason I've never watched UFC, is because their whole time frame is based out of Las Vegas. So where wrestling and almost any other sport, their time is based on the East Coast, MMA is based on the West Coast. I had heard that this week, and I never thought about it till we see these time differences, because this would be a 5 o'clock start time if that's true for Vegas.
Yeah, and actually, it says here 6:15 Eastern time, but there's early prelims too, and that's when that starts. So the prelims that I talked about will be on the 8 o'clock show.
How many levels of prelims come in a UFC fight?
There's an early prelims, and then there's the prelims, and then there's the main card. So
Okay.
there's usually an early prelims that you can check on UFC Fight Pass, and ESPN Plus will have those too. Usually, ESPN Plus will usually give you all your coverage. And then the main card will be on ESPN Plus and ESPN. And then the main prelims will be on ESPN Plus and ESPN. And the main card will be on ESPN Plus and pay-per-view, which you only get UFC pay-per-views through ESPN Plus at this point, at least domestically anyway.
Wow.
So there you go.
Now, the first match that I saw for the main card is Sean O'Malley versus Chris Moutinho.
Yeah, Moutinho. So he's kind of an unknown. This is his UFC debut. He's taken this on short notice. O'Malley's opponent was injured going into this. So
who is he supposed to fight?
Oh, you fucking put me on the spot here, bro.
Oh shit, man.
Let's see here. We did this O'Malley. Well, anyway, about O'Malley while I'm looking this up. He's colorful. He's got a lot of finishes. People love him or hate him. He's got the one loss, but he didn't handle that well. He says he got caught and that he's still mentally undefeated, whatever that means. So I think that's rubbed some people the wrong way. But he's very colorful. Joe, you'd like him. He's huge into gaming and smoking weed. He's always promoting weed. He was supposed to face Louis Smoka on this card, who's another quality Smoka.
Unintended, right?
He was about to get his ass smoked. But yeah, O'Malley, he's always got multicolored hair. And who was that rapper dude that was going to jail? 619.
6ix9ine? Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of looks like him sometimes when he does his hair and shit like that. So
okay.
He's a different animal. Yeah, he's definitely big into different strains of weed and stuff like that. You should check this guy out. You'd probably get along great with him. So
we'll see. Yeah, I'll see him tonight.
Yeah.
On the pay-per-view, not personally.
Right, not personally. Yeah, no, I get it. So
now
I'll look for. I'll do a little prediction here too. I'll go O'Malley in a first round knockout too.
Oh wow. Okay, so you got O'Malley in this fight. You don't think the UFC debut is going to motivate the other guy?
No, I think he's outclassed, and I think he's overmatched. But you never know. That's the great thing about fighting. We'll see.
Now, that is a bantamweight fight, but for a ladies' bantamweight fight, there's Irene Donna, 12-6 versus Yana Kunitskaya. How is it?
Kunitskaya, yeah.
Yep, 14-5, no contest.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Yana in this one. She's coming off a pair of wins. This is a fight. Donna, I want to say, I'm looking at her now. Her last fight, she had a loss to Holly Holm, which is no shame in that. Holly Holm's beating Ronda Rousey and some of the best, former boxing champion as well. But I like Lakana here. Kuchi Lakana. I like Yana.
Okay. Now, what is her style? Is she a striker? Is she more on the ground?
I think she's more of a wrestler on the ground, clinch. And I think that Yana will probably get it done in decision. I don't look for either one of these women to get a finish. So.
All right. And Aldana, same type style?
Yeah, from what I've seen. But we'll see. I'm not as familiar with these two. This was the one fight that I was like, all right. But,
oh, yeah. You were saying you had to look it up real quick before we started.
Yeah. I mean, Yana's definitely, I've seen her around a few times, but nothing ever really stands out about her. But
now, next up, we have a heavyweight battle between Tuivasa, 12-3, versus Greg Hardy, fighting men for once, 7-3-0 with one no contest.
Somebody did his homework. Greg Hardy has.
I'm only familiar with him out of the NFL, so I'd expect to see him more in a Triller fight, not in a UFC ring. But like I said, I'm not familiar with UFC too much.
Greg Hardy is definitely he's a great athlete. Obviously, from his NFL days, he's big, he's strong. Sorry, guys, my allergies are killing me today. But he's big, he's strong, he's capable of turning lights out. Where he's run into trouble is fighters that are more experienced than him, more skilled. They can, take him down. They can pick him apart with strikes. His cardio is a bit of an issue too. He's probably not going to have that issue with Ty. Ty likes to bang, and Ty likes to bring it. Ty is also famous for doing a shoey, which is after he went to fight. He'll drink a beer out of his shoe. He's from Australia, and that's an Australian thing. I think they've even done it with piss before. I think he's drunk like fucking piss and beer out of a fucking shoe. Ty is he's
Jesus
not a
Christ,
normal
that's
guy.
how he celebrates a victory? Pissing in a boot?
Piss. Yeah,
God, man, that's some Jake Roberts shit right there. But who do you got
for drinking his piss back at that time? I'm gonna go with Hardy. I think Hardy gets it done. I like Ty. I think if Ty can stretch it out a little bit, Hardy's cardio isn't the greatest, so maybe Ty will pull it off. But Ty's not known for having super cardio either. I like Ty, but I got to go with Greg Hardy. I think he hits a little harder, and he's good at just blitzing people. And I think he'll catch Ty. I don't think Ty will have the skills to stop that, but we'll see.
All right, now next up, I believe it's the co-main event.
Yes.
Gilbert Burns, 19-4 versus Steven Thompson, 16-4-1. What are we looking at here style-wise for both fighters?
All right, Stephen Thompson, Wonder Boy, comes out to Wonder Boy by Tenacious D as well. He was like 57-0, I believe, in kickboxing at one time. He's got a karate stance. He's probably the most dynamic karate fighter ever in the UFC. Highlight head kicks, brings a lot of that to the table. Very exciting. Gilbert Burns, great striker, really improved in his last few fights on his striking, but he's got one of the best jiu-jitsu games in town. So if this goes to the ground, Gilbert Burns might submit him. I don't think Thompson has ever been submitted, and he's been in some bad guillotine chokes. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Thompson also has great takedown defense. So I would think this will be on his feet, but I'd also got to say Gilbert is definitely underrated in the striking, so I wouldn't be surprised. Man, it's a tough fight. Thompson's been in a lot of wars, and I think that could take its toll on him. My heart wants to go for Wonder Boy. He's truly one of the nicest guys in UFC, and Gilbert just had his shot. Thompson did have a shot a few while back, but I'd like to see Thompson get one more before he goes out in the sunset. But, man, my mind is telling me I'm leaning towards Burns. I think Burns is going to catch him. I think Burns is really, really skilled. But this could go either way. This is definitely a pick-em fight, but I'm going to lean towards Gilbert Burns. I think he just has a little bit more tools.
All right, so the main event, the show that is bringing me to this, besides my schedule just working out this way, Dustin Poirier, 27-6-0, 1-0 contest versus Conor McGregor, 22-5. Dave, what are we looking at for this fight? I mean, I know McGregor's a big name. I've seen him box. I've seen a couple of his fights. Style-wise, what are we looking at? And obviously, who do you got?
Conor's going to try to come out fast and early. That's what he does. And that's going to be the most dangerous in the first 2 rounds for Dustin. Now, obviously, in the last fight, Dustin was able to finish him in round 2, but he got caught early a couple times. But the game plan was Dustin kept hitting Conor with those leg kicks, and Conor did nothing about it. I would be amazed if Conor doesn't have a counter for those leg kicks this time, and he doesn't have a game plan to stop that. That being said, I'm sure Dustin has game plan for this too. So, Conor, if he catches him early, is going to be really dangerous. Those first 2-3 rounds, I would not be surprised to see Conor catch him. He's got to be the underdog, and my money will be on Poirier, but Conor's definitely going to be dangerous in those first 2, maybe 3 rounds. I think the thing about Poirier, if you look at his career, unlike Conor, when things get tough, Poirier is gritty. He lasts. He keeps fighting. He's been in several fight of the nights, and he doesn't give up. Poirier is also just more well-rounded. He's a good striker. He's good in the clinch, and he's good at taking people down. His wrestling's solid. He's just solid everywhere, and I think he's got more heart. So I'm favoring Poirier, but I will not be shocked if Conor catches him in rounds 1 or 2. He's just got that kind of striking position, and he's going to be more motivated to come back this time. I honestly believe that. But it's a make or break fight for Conor too, because Conor, when you're that level of famous, you just can't lose these fights. It's not like another guy where you lose a bunch and you bounce back. He's making so much money, and does he have that hunger still? That's the big thing. Does Conor have that hunger that he's going to use all that money and all that resources he can to game plan and do what it takes to beat Dustin? We'll see. Smart money's on Poirier, but don't be shocked if McGregor catches him early.
Do you have an official pick in this fight?
Dustin Poirier, I'm going to go round 4. I think this goes a little bit. TKO.
All right, well, guys, let us know who you think's going to win in the comments. And on the audio version of the show, this will be paired with your UFC review. So we will see you guys later, and have a good day.
Thank you, guys.